to start out by asking you a question. Has your life ever gotten to a point where you felt it was on empty? That you didn't think you had the strength to go any further? That you had lost all hope? Let me tell you a few stories about people whose lives were on empty. You may recall, shortly after the holidays, there was a church van that was filled with children. It was on its way to Disney World, not too far from here. A semi crossed the median, and there was a fiery crash. 5 of the children were killed. 2 of those children were grandchildren of the pastor of the church which they departed that day. I wonder how those parents are doing today. Their lives are forever changed. They are surely on empty. But because of their faith, they know that their hope in salvation is in Jesus Christ, for He alone can satisfy their emptiness. This tragedy probably led you to think of the question like me: why do bad things happen to good people? Which brings me into my next story. It's a biblical story about a man named Job. Job was a good and pious man, faithful to God, and was blessed with many riches. And so the story goes, Satan went to God and he says, you know, your servant Job, the reason he's so faithful and pious is because you've blessed him with all those riches. He says, you take those away and I bet you his faith will also go away. God took him up on the challenge. And without telling Job, he destroyed his home, his cattle, killed his children. And then there were boils all over Job's body. And his wife urged Job to curse God for the things that had done to him. Job was on empty. But Job was steadfast in his faith. There was nothing that was going to happen to him that was going to cause him to lose his devotion to his God. And in the end, God blessed him with another home, more riches, and additional children. A life full of abundance. The moral of the story is, when hard times fall on you and you think you're at your wit's end, don't be tempted to give up your faith in God. Yes, bad things do happen to good people. They suffer misfortune. They lose their jobs. They get sick. But it's not those things. It's not those things that God is going to hold them against you. No, our God is all good, and He does not will misfortune on anyone. Misfortune is caused by the fallen world that we live in. Third story is about Jesus. You think Jesus was on empty? It says in the Gospel, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was sweating drops of blood, begging his Father to take the cup away from him, if it was his will. And then things got worse. He was scourged, crowned with thorns, asked to carry his cross and fell 3 times and couldn't get back up. And then he was crucified and he yelled out from the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? What did Jesus do? He turned himself over wholly and completely to his Father's will. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit. That brings us to today's gospel. was a wedding feast, a wedding banquet at Cana. And you heard they were out of wine. Poor planet. Jesus said, go get those big 6 water jars over there. They're huge, right? You fill those with water and you bring them to me. You fill them with water, they can hardly carry them, they're so big. And Jesus performs his first miracle. John says it's a sign. He turns the water into 125 gallons of fine wine. More than they needed. An abundance of wine for the banquet. Unfortunately, many people don't turn their lives over to Jesus until they are on empty, until they're out of wine, until they're out of strength, out of energy, out of hope. Yes, we know that we're on empty on most important things of our lives, and we think many times that life is unfair. But we need to remember, turn over our lives and our emptiness to Jesus. For he alone is our Savior. Then we need to do what Mary asked. Do whatever he tells you. Well, what was that? What is he asking us today? It's not a difficult question. It's something he asked of all of his disciples. Come, follow me. Pick up your cross and follow me. He wants to give us a life of abundance. He wants to give us so much that we share it with others. Yet, many of us look for abundance and fullness of life in worldly pleasures, money, and food, and in sex, things that don't last. We need to be looking for abundance in our life and things that truly satisfy: joy, love, family, friendships. We find our happiness in God alone. Let him turn our emptiness into abundance. And on this Sanctity of Life Sunday, we pray for the sanctity of life for all the unborn, that they too may have an opportunity for an abundant life. Pray this in Jesus' name.